it's my pleasure to be here with you. Thank you so much for the invitation. And it will be a pleasure to be at SIR in a few days too.
Yes, so the Symposium of Yoga Research is where you'll be presenting. That's held at Kripalu. And I'm really excited to have you there. And the specific research that you're presenting, are you presenting the 2019 paper that you did with Sarah Lazar and some of the other
Yeah.
collaborators? I think it's so cool that you're doing it on yoga now as a whole practice because Sarah Lazar's work and her TED Talk has talked about meditation specifically.
Yeah.
So now yoga as a full practice, including meditation, but also the poses and chanting and the other aspects that make yoga a full lifestyle. And I see one of the collaborators is actually going to be at SIR also, right?
Elisa Kozaza, yes. She's one of the keynote speakers there. And she coordinates the Brain Institute, part of the Brain Institute at the biggest hospital in South America called Albert Einstein Israeli Hospital. And we have a very nice group of research over there in studying fMRI or even structural and related to the influences of yoga, meditation, Tai Chi Chuan, all contemplative practices in cognition and brain resilience to the aging process principle, mainly.
So tell me more about this 2019 study that you'll be presenting.
Yeah. So we decided to go further into the information we had already gathered from the same sample in the 2017 study. What we know is that when people go through the aging process, their brain functional connectivity decreases. What does it mean? It means that areas of the brain tend to be less correlated in action to different ones, which may decrease the level of consciousness. Okay, so because nowadays we know that consciousness is not present in one specific structure in the brain. It's the whole brain interaction that brings up what we call consciousness. And as people get older, the ability of different areas to communicate with one another, between one another, decrease. So we call it function. We may evaluate that through functional connectivity in functional magnetic resonance imaging. So that's what we did. And another thing that happens is there is something called the default mode network, which is a network that is activated. It's active when one is not doing any specific task and may be reflecting about past events that may or may not be pleasant ones. So the more the default mode network is activated, the more prone to depression one is.
Yes, mind wandering is what we colloquially call that. Yes.
Yeah, that's it. And the ability to disengage the mind wandering, to disengage the default mode network, also decreases with aging. And it is correlated with interaction between nodes of the default mode network that also decrease with aging. So we went to these subjects and we did this investigation of the connectivity inside the default mode network. And it is preserved. It is greater in people who practice yoga than in people that don't practice yoga. At the first sight, it might look like, okay, so that's not good because the default mode network is working more. No, it's not working more. It's more connected, and this connection should be lost. Should have been lost with the aging process, but it wasn't.
So they're able to better control when they go into mind wandering and when they aren't going into mind wandering.
Maybe, or we could also have from that information that do you know when we're teaching yoga asana, and you have many of elderly people practicing with you, and you see something the other side of the room doing to the other side, and you try to correct amongst everybody and say, okay, guys, pay attention. It's not to bend to the right. It was supposed to bend to the left. And the one doesn't
hear you. It. Yeah.
Because he's probably mind wandering. He's not prone to correction. And to do so, and normally the younger people, they get it, because their cognition is still fresh, let's say like that, and they may disengage from the default mode network fast if necessary, and the elderly can't. So you have to go close to the elder one and sometimes call him or her by the name and say, hey, hi, I'm talking to you. Look, this leg should be going to the other side.
Yeah.
That's a sign of decreased plasticity in cognition.
Yes.
So we may preserve cognitive plasticity with the practice of yoga.
Yeah, and I mean, we already have a fairly robust amount of research on meditation in this. So to start diving deeper and have more yoga meditation is really exciting, or yoga research on this is really exciting.
You know what really excites me about this information we're bringing is that, okay, we are studying yoga practitioners who practice the full context of yoga, as you said, but we are pairing those with the same age and same instruction and the same level of physical activity person. So we may say that, okay, it's the full yoga practice, but it's not the physical component. It has to be done in a yoga way, otherwise it would be exercise effect, and it's not. It's not exercise effect, it's not only meditation effect. It's the attention you put into your brain, the attention you put into your body, breathing, and getting adapted and pleasant information during the practice of yoga that you're doing. So we may say that the attentional component of yoga is much more important in those results, because it has been the works have been controlled for physical activity too.
And what I think is really important about this is so many people think that yoga research is going to distill down what yoga is to something that loses its essence, that it's going to make it very clinical, and it will just be these poses for this condition, or, you know, it will lose that essence that makes yoga a whole person approach to well-being. So what I hear you saying, and what I hear so many researchers saying, is that no, we did a well-rounded yoga practice, and these people have been practicing a well-rounded yoga practice that includes meditation, includes mind-body connection and mindfulness, includes breath work, includes all of these components. It's not just the poses. It's not just one thing.
Yeah, I'm really happy to be part of this movement that is bringing new knowledge for something that has been proven by experience for so many centuries, you know. I mean, you can get results from the mat or from the lab to real life. That's what it counts. And in real life, you're not an ear, you're not a knee, you're not a heart, you're a person. So you should practice it wholly.
And you shouldn't only exercise or only meditate or only do breath work. Do all of the things. That's what makes yoga yoga. And I think that's what a lot of people will see, especially for those that have not been to a research conference. If you are interested in yoga research and you come to SIR, the Symposium of Yoga Research at Kripalu, you'll start to, I think that a lot of people will start to see like, oh, these researchers really care about yoga and keeping the essence of yoga in yoga. Like all these researchers practice yoga themselves and really believe in it as a whole person approach to well-being. So that's what I really love about hearing you talk about this.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that people that go to Kripalu will also see that not only people are interested in preserving yoga in yoga, but they will see that much of research may be understood by lay people. And people have the ability to, because we come from different areas of expertise. There are physical educators, there are physical therapists, there are doctors, there are psychologists, there are lawyers, there are engineers. There at and talking and learning with each other. So it makes yoga and the knowledge that we produce available to everybody, which is of greater importance for me because people must benefit from what we research. It
Absolutely.
mustn't stay only available for PhDs. We have to make knowledge available for everybody.
And to your point, I hope that that means more people that are psychologists as well as yoga teachers and physical therapists all come to the conference, all those that have interest in everything yoga, to connect with the researchers and be able to, it's really cool. You can ask questions and have lunch with the researchers.
And also the environment at Kripalu is really nice. It's a very beautiful place to be, and people are very well-intended and warm at heart to host us. So I'm very happy to be there and to get in touch with everybody and try to spread yoga for as many people as we can. Thank you so much for the opportunity.